let's have a quick talk about why you just shouldn't be buying a Switch 2. This has been one of the most controversy-ridden console releases in a long time. Now, I want to talk about the big argument, right? Because a lot of people are going on about how, Nintendo will just brick your system if you try and mod it or something like that, right? And Nintendo fans' argument is always, oh yeah, well, people have been doing that for years. No, no, they haven't. Think back to the past. There's never been a situation where a manufacturer will brick a console because you've modded it in history. The worst that's ever happened is your console gets banned from something like Xbox Live or PSN. Never a bricked system. Now, I understand the logic with the terms of service, right? I understand that. But the fact is, it shouldn't be a thing in the terms of service to begin with. That's insane. It's your hardware, you have the right to do what you want with it. It's as simple as that. And people will say, oh, well, you signed the contract, this is your fault. Yeah, they're in the legal right. That doesn't make them in the moral right. Not even close. That on top of the pointless features they've added to this that have ramped the price of this system up by miles. A camera and voice chat. Features that have been staples of gaming since the PS2. Now, I understand this isn't Nintendo's first dive into online, voice communications. There was stuff like the Wii Speak for the Wii, for example, right? But they're trying to use it as a marketing tactic and a selling point for a new system. If they're resorting to features that have been in games consoles for over 20 years, it's not something you should be buying. And on top of that, almost their entire library, other than Mario Kart, is either re-releases or remakes. And that's not inherently a bad thing, right? But when the main third-party support you're pushing is Cyberpunk. A great game, don't get me wrong, it's one of my favourites of all time. But it's a game that's now 5 years old, and yes, it looks incredible, but it's a game that we've seen running on 12-year-old hardware. If it runs on the original Xbox One, it's not impressive. It's that simple. And yes, I understand it's the updated version that's technically a next-gen version, but it doesn't look any better, it doesn't run any better, you've just got some features that should be there anyway. That doesn't help the system. And on top of that, just Mario Kart open world being something nobody has asked for, and yes, it's a cool idea in theory, but on paper, it's completely useless. Basically, the only benefit to open world Mario Kart is the collectibles they've scattered around that unlock stickers. When is Nintendo going to realise we don't care about stickers? Virtual stickers. So to summarise, a library of almost entirely re-releases, horribly outdated features they're trying to push as modern ones, completely pointless features that are just jacking up the price of the system, nobody asked for mice in the controllers, that's not going to be used by any third-party developers, it's going to be barely used by Nintendo for a couple of weeks and then scrapped pretty much immediately. Horribly, and I mean horribly underpowered hardware. You don't get to pass hardware off as powerful when it's on par with the PS4 Pro. In 2025. Yes, I understand Nintendo's entire stick of releasing low power systems and making the most out of them with exclusives, but we haven't seen the exclusives. And awful third-party support. You wanna know what that sounds like to me? It sounds like we're going back to the Wii U. And I'm honestly convinced the only reason this system is selling so well is purely, and I mean purely, because of the Switch name. And that's without even mentioning the game keys. It's so stupid. Now, I understand that every other company's been doing this for ages, right? I'm not going to sit here and tell you that most of my Xbox One collection will work in 20 years, because it won't. But that doesn't make it okay. Just because it's common doesn't mean it's okay. It's as simple as that. Now, I know on paper it's just a follow-up to an already good system. I wasn't a fan of the Switch, but I understand its appeal at least, right? The Switch 2 is not the same. This is a bad console. Until the system sees a significant drop in price, because they've stripped back the stupid features that nobody asked for. They stop pretending that these features they've added are revolutionary when they just aren't, let's be honest. And there's a lot more support from third-party developers and from Nintendo themselves. I'm not touching the console. And I honestly don't think you should either. But if I've missed anything, let me know down below. Either for or against the Switch 2, that's completely fine. But anyway, we are on the road to 1.2k now. Again, thank you all so much for that insane number. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.